Welcome to the channel of Previously on Hollywood. Every week we are going to review the important events of Hollywood together, so we don't waste time and go see what happened. As you know, last week's most important news was the Golden Globe ceremony, which was much better than the last few years. Todd Boehly, the American billionaire investor, who owns the Chelsea Club, currently owns the Golden Globe brand. He made many structural changes in this ceremony. If you remember, in the past few years, actors boycotted the Golden Globes because of corruption such as bribery to win awards and lack of racial diversity. After the investor bought the Golden Globe brand, he provided the winners a $500,000 sponsorship package to bring all the Hollywood stars back to the event. For example, one of the prizes for all 83 winners of this event is a sailing ship ticket worth $50,000. All wine was served with the Brandley Bear Pater, worth $200,000. They even served Hollywood's most expensive pizza at dinner. There were many other services, the most unusual of which was providing a tattoo room with the highest quality tattoo ink worth $2,500, where guests could get tattooed if they wanted. Naturally, this plan was successful and the event attracted a large audience. Both better awards were given and there was a lot of buzz on the internet. Many had controversial events like Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez. As a result, the number of visitors to this event increased by 50% compared to last year. Due to this excellent management, it is possible that in the next few years, it will get more audience even than the Oscar ceremony. At this year's ceremony, Oppenheimer managed to win the most awards. It won almost all major awards. Awards include Best Motion Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Original Score. The second successful movie was Killers of the Flower Moon, which won the Best Actress award. Poor Things also won the award for the musical or comedy motion picture of the year and the Best Actress. It was already known that the movie Barbie would win the award for cinematic and box office achievement. That is, they did not give this award to the movie, but it had already won because it was the best-selling movie of the year. Interestingly, Christopher Nolan received his first Golden Globe award and mentioned Heath Ledger in his speech. The most successful series was Succession, which won the Best Television Series Drama, Best Male Actor, and Best Actress award. It is not bad to know that the winner Kieran Culkin is the brother of the boy who played the lead role in Home Alone. The interesting point in all the controversial events of this ceremony was the presence of Natalie Portman without a companion because they had divorced each other due to her husband's infidelity. Natalie Portman was sad and has never been seen sad on red carpets. Before the Golden Globe ceremony, Christopher Nolan won another award from the New York Critics Circle. An interesting thing happened that you probably saw the video. He recounted a memory and said that he was exercising at home and doing stupid moves when the TV sports coach announced that the music that was being played was similar to the music from the movie Tenet, and she said, "This is rubbish that I saw. It wasted 2 hours of my life and these 2 hours will never return to my life."
This song is from the soundtrack of a movie called Tenet. Anybody see this? Did anybody see this besides me? Because I need a manual. Someone's got to explain this. Yeah, I'm not kidding. What the f is going on in that movie? Do you understand? Seriously, you need to be a neuroscientist to understand. And that's 2.5 hours of my life that I want back. I want it back.
The next news is very important and a favorite of those who are interested in computer games. Amazon company has announced that it is preparing the script for the God of War series and the writing process of the script has already started. The interesting thing that is in the news is that a budget of $750 million to $1 billion has been allocated for the first season of this series, which if this happens, it will make this series the most expensive series in history. The budget for the 5 seasons of the Lord of the Rings series, which is owned by Amazon, is $1 billion, but only the first season of the God of War series has a budget of $1 billion. Of course, Amazon company has a black record regarding budget news. If you remember, they also said about the Citadel series that it was the second most expensive series in history, which had 6 episodes, and it was not known how many viewers it had and where the money was spent. Probably, this company only announces these numbers to get the name of its series at the top of the world news. The God of War series is supposed to be a collaboration between Sony and Amazon, and Sony has announced that they have not yet chosen any actor for the character of Kratos, and they will not decide who to choose until the end of writing the script. The other news from Amazon company was that the series The Boys won 6 awards from the Hollywood Critics Association, and in the category of series awards, the Best Actor award went to Anthony Starr and the Best Supporting Actor award went to the same series. The next news is about the Warner Brothers company. It has been reported that 61-year-old Tom Cruise has signed a big contract with this company and will return to this studio after 10 years. He is going to make a full-action movie. Warner Brothers gave a dedicated office to Tom Cruise to do all the work of this project in the company's headquarters. It is not known how many films he is going to make for them. It is heard that these films will be very similar to Mission Impossible. The film franchise is Mission Impossible for Paramount Pictures, and now Warner Brothers wants to compete with this company. Warner Brothers has announced that Paul Thomas Anderson, the director of There Will Be Blood, will make a movie for them that stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, and Regina Hall. This movie does not have a name yet and no details about it have been released except that this movie will be shot this year and will be released next year. The next news from Warner Brothers was very interesting that last year's loss-making Aquaman movie became DC's highest-grossing movie of 2023. This movie has sold $350 million so far, and to be profitable, it needs to sell at least $560 million to be able to balance its income and expenses, so it will turn into a huge financial loss. This movie is going to be shown on streaming platforms on February 8th. Let me tell you some news about DC. James Gunn had an interview last week and said that they are going to make a Supergirl movie and it is going to be one of the main roles of DC. The actress has not been chosen yet, but it is said that the actress who played the role of young Rhaenyra in the House of the Dragon series is one of the main options for this film. Last week, there was another interesting news from Warner Brothers and it became clear that this company is making a risky investment. It's going to turn Ready Player One, directed by Spielberg, into reality with the help of an artificial intelligence company. A new version of Metaverse called Readyverse is going to be developed in which fans can talk and play with movie and animation characters. The cost of this project is staggering, but if this company succeeds in implementing this project, it will create a completely separate revenue-generating sector for this company and maybe it can save them from bankruptcy. Mark Zuckerberg had already invested in Metaverse which brought a lot of losses to him, and due to investing in Metaverse, he fell a few places in the ranking of the world's billionaires. Now we have to see if Warner Brothers can get anywhere with this investment or not. In the movie Ready Player One, people can go to the virtual world by wearing glasses. For example, they go to the house where the movie The Shining was made and can experience the environment of the movie. The next news from Warner Brothers was that HBO, a subsidiary of this company, announced that Caitlin Dever is going to play the role of Abby in the series The Last of Us. It is interesting to know that this actress auditioned for the role of Ellie and was selected, but they did not accept him and Bella Ramsey took his place. Now he is going to be given the role of Abby. The second season of The Last of Us series is scheduled to air in 2025, which means that there will be a gap of 2 years between the two seasons. Recently, during the filming of this series, Pedro Pascal broke his hand and again the filming was delayed by a month. Another news that HBO gave about this series was that it is going to make a spin-off of this series, although it has not yet been approved by the company and it is just a rumor. If approved, this spin-off will tell the story of Bill and Frank. The creator of the series said that the story of these two people is going to be told in detail. The next news is about the world of Star Wars. Lucasfilm has announced that an independent movie called The Mandalorian is going to be made. This movie is going to be made by Jon Favreau, who is the main creator of the Mandalorian series and has also collaborated in the making of Iron Man and The Lion King. This movie is not going to come on Disney Plus and it is going to be released in theaters in 2026. It is going to be filmed at the same time as the 4th season of the Mandalorian series. Lucasfilm announced that the Ahsoka series has been renewed for a 2nd season. The other news about Star Wars was that Adam Driver announced that he would never play in the Star Wars world again because not only did he have a hard time in the movie, but all the fans of these movies bothered him because the third trilogy was weak and he was blamed for this. In the next news, let's go to the new movies that are going to come. Martin Scorsese announced that his new film, Jesus, will be made by the end of the new year. This movie is about the teachings and rules of the Messiah and Martin Scorsese himself is going to play in the movie. This movie is 80 minutes long and low cost. They criticized Scorsese and asked, "What kind of movie do you want to make?" He gave an interview and said that he would make the film in such a way that it does not promote any organized religion and that religious extremists cannot abuse his film for their benefit. The next news about upcoming movies is that the series 3 Body Problem was released last week. This series was created by the creators of the Game of Thrones series. These two people were supposed to develop the world of Star Wars, that's why they quickly finished the Game of Thrones series, but after the failure of the last season of this series, they were fired from the Star Wars project and then they were hired by Netflix. And this project was the first cooperation of these two people is with Netflix. The story of the three-body problem is about humanity's first contact with aliens. The next news about the new movie is called Hotel Tehran, and it is in the spy genre, and the actor of Shazam plays a role in it. The director of this film is an Israeli who has several failed films in his career, such as Holly. Hotel Tehran is about some CIA spies who come to Tehran for a secret mission. The shooting of this movie is going to start in the spring, and the release date is not yet known. The next news is about the world of celebrities. The first is related to Jonathan Majors, who, as you know, was fired from Marvel for assaulting his girlfriend. Last week, he interviewed with CBS, which is a subsidiary of Disney. The interview lasted 50 minutes and Jonathan repeatedly spoke about his innocence and that he was wronged in court. He did not have any documents to support his words, just only said "I am not guilty." Interestingly, none of his words were noticed by cyberspace and no one showed any reaction, only his crying became the subject. He forced himself to cry so much that he was ridiculed by the users of cyberspace. The presenter asked him if he was willing to work in Hollywood again. In response, this actor said that if Hollywood does not ban me and allows me, I am ready to act in movies. The next celebrity news is related to Rock, who had an interview and said that I am no longer looking for money in my life, but I am looking for value and humanity. He wants to make films about humanity. He said this while the actor starred in Red One last year and was paid $50 million and became the most expensive actor of last year. After the film was screened for critics, the critics said they saw the worst film in history. The next celebrity news, which is very interesting, is related to Taylor Swift. If you remember, Harvard, the best university in the world, held a course to study the lyrics of Taylor Swift. These courses were private, and by giving money you could participate in those courses, and at the end, you would get a degree from Harvard University. Now the number of students in this course has increased so much and it has been so profitable that Harvard University announced that it is going to turn this course into a field of study, and now it is looking to hire a professor to teach this course. These classes are similar to the literature class and teach the style of Taylor Swift's poems in these classes. The next news is about Chris Hemsworth, who said in his new interview that George Miller, the director of Furiosa, used real criminals for his movie. Some motorcycle thugs in America are often criminals. The director got the names of these criminals from the prisons, interviewed each one of them, and chose those who had a weirder life than the others for his movie. The next news is about Shia LaBeouf, the actor in the Transformers movie series. In the past few years, this actor had a lot of problems because he was involved in alcohol and drugs. Sometimes he was not in his best mood, fought in the street, had several accidents, got into a fight with the police, was arrested and went to prison, went to a drug addiction camp, and his acting life was affected by these issues and his life was damaged. He played the role of a priest in his new movie, and last week he officially announced that he became a Catholic Christian. This Jewish actor is still involved in drugs. He claims that he is pure and that is why he has changed his lifestyle, but pictures on social networks show that he is still using drugs. Another celebrity news was very important, which is related to Jeffrey Epstein. He had an island and rented it to famous and rich people. One of the services of the island was that they brought underage girls to serve. 5 years ago, Epstein was arrested and scandalized. He gave the court a list of people who had come to the island. The court had announced that due to the incompleteness of the case, this list will remain confidential. Epstein committed suicide in prison. This list is in the possession of the U.S. Supreme Court, and now after 5 years, its secrecy is over. Recently, a list has been circulating on social networks, which is fake because the American court has not published it yet. The court announced that this list will be announced on January 22nd. In the fake list, there are names of many Hollywood stars. For example, DiCaprio's name appears in the list, which caused some social network users to attack this actor, although DiCaprio has not yet reacted. Jimmy Kimmel's name is also on the fake list, which was also attacked on social networks. This is an important issue for Kimmel, so Kimmel announced that "I would sue anyone who slanders me." This presenter is going to host this year's Oscar ceremony. If his name comes out on January 22nd, he will inevitably be kicked out of the ceremony, and it is not known who will be in charge of the ceremony within a month until the ceremony. The next news is related to Willem Dafoe. After 40 years of acting, his name was registered on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Willem Dafoe participated in this ceremony along with Pedro Pascal. A very interesting thing happened. Pedro Pascal was very chum with Willem Dafoe's wife, and this made Willem Dafoe angry. At the end, he hit his hand and said, "Take off your hands."
Here we go.
The last section is related to toxic news. Al Pacino had an interview last week and said that I was nominated for an Oscar for my role in Serpico. I participated in the ceremony, but I was very confused due to the use of drugs. An hour had passed since the ceremony. I wanted to go home. I said to myself that they were not going to announce the Best Actor award this year. Jeff Bridges was with me at the event. Jeff took my hand and said, "What are you doing? The 3-hour ceremony has just passed 1 hour. The prize winner has not been announced yet." Pacino said that I was not feeling well at all and I did not feel the passage of time. I had taken a few Valium pills and the pills were working. I could not walk at all and had no balance. The ceremony continued and it was the turn of the Best Actor award. He said that if they announced my name, I would not be able to move to the platform. Pacino said that the best moment of my life was the moment when I realized that I did not win the award because if my name was mentioned, I would lose my disgrace. I hope you enjoyed hearing this week's news. Don't forget to click the subscribe and like button. I will be happy to see your comments.